بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Let's recite Al-Fatiha to the soul of Sayyidina al-Imam Abdullah bin Alawi al-Haddad. Al-Fatiha. Which page we left? I left my English book home.
We're on page 75, number 18.
Okay. Bismillah. Let us begin. We start on page 75, chapter 18.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. The author, may Allah Ta'ala have mercy on him, said, Number 18. Keeping the company of the best of people, the good manners of the disciple with his sheikh, the attributes of the perfect sheikh. O disciple, you must take the greatest care to keep the company of the best people, and sit with the virtuous and the righteous. Search with utmost care for a good sheikh, a man of guidance and good advice, who has knowledge of Sharia, has traveled the path of Tariqah, and has tasted Haqiqah. A man in whom is joint perfection of mind, vastness of breast, wisdom in management, knowledge of the ranks of people, and an ability to discern the variations in their instincts, innate
So
qualities
here,
states.
Imam al-Haddad mentions the importance of keeping in the company of the pious, of the righteous, because that has a great effect in giving one a ba'ith, giving one the urge to travel the path of Allah. So that teacher, that sheikh needs to be a guide, advising, pious, right? He knows the sacred law, he follows the path to Allah, and he actually experienced some of that, right? Here, the only way you will identify such a sheikh is when you learn yourself, right? So before you can take the sheikh, you actually have to learn the religion, right? As you take that spiritual guide, you have to learn, because if you don't learn, what you will be exposed to is spiritual abuse, right? Because actually there are many pretenders, or they say charlatans, in the name of a pious sheikh. And the scale that you're going to weigh them on is the sacred law, right? And not every teacher fits this, right? So for instance, I don't fit this at all. We have some things we can benefit. We're not spiritual guides, right? And that spiritual guide is not an easy thing to find. And I would suggest that you learn and let Allah send that to you. You don't go looking for it. Because if you look for it without the proper tools of looking, you're going to find yourself following something wrong. But if you learn the sacred law and you learn it well, it will be easy to identify such a person. Now,
When you find him, surrender to him. Give him command over all your affairs, and take his advice and suggestions in everything that concerns you. Follow his
Assalamu alaikum.
example. Fol-
Go ahead.
Follow his example in everything he says or does, except in those things which are specific to his status as a sheikh. For a sheikh has to mix with people, speak to them gently and evenly, and draw the near and far among them to Allah Ta'ala, so that all pertains to these things you should leave to him. Never object, whether publicly or privately, to any behavior of his. Should a disturbing thought about him enter your heart, strive to cast it out. If you do not succeed, speak to the sheikh about it, so that he can teach you how to rid yourself of it. You should also inform him of everything that occurs to you, especially concerning the path. Beware of obeying him publicly and when in his presence, then in secret disobeying him. For you can thus perish. Do not seek to make any sheikh known to be a spiritual master unless you have your own sheikh's permission. If he permits you, guard your heart and meet whomsoever you will. But if he does not, know that he has chosen what is best for you. Do not accuse him of being envious or jealous. Allah Ta'ala forbid that such may occur to Allah Ta'ala's people, his elect. Beware of asking the sheikh for karumat, or that he revealed to you that which you secretly think. Knowledge of the hidden
which is
belongs.
miracles, because as we told you, the biggest miracle is to be steadfast on the deen. Now,
Knowledge of the hidden belongs exclusively to Allah Ta'ala. The limit of a saint is that Allah Ta'ala should reveal to him only some of the hidden, some of the time. A disciple may enter the presence of his sheikh, wishing to be told his own thoughts, and the sheikh may refrain from telling him, even though they might be unveiled to him. This is to
this is
guard his
called a kesh, and it is the first level of the extraordinary things that occur to the pious. Now,
This is to guard his secret and hide his state, for they are, may Allah Ta'ala be pleased with him, the most careful of all people in guarding their secrets and the farthest from showing off by karamat and supernatural events, even when given mastery over them.
mm.
Most karamat manifesting as saints do not happen by choice. When any such event does occur, those who witness it are asked not to divulge what they have witnessed until the sheikh has left this world. Saints, however, will sometimes
And that was
openly
the
bring
case of
about.
Imam Haddad. While he was alive, many of his karamat were not mentioned. But after his death, his students, they mentioned and wrote about many of his karamat. Because during his life, he didn't want that to be exposed. Mm.
Saints, however, will sometimes openly bring about such events when there is greater benefit in doing so than in keeping them hidden. Know that a perfect sheikh is one who benefits the disciple through his spiritual power, his behavior, and his words. He protects him whether in his presence or out of it. If the disciple is physically far from his sheikh, he must seek from him general guidelines as to what he should and should not do. The most harmful thing to the disciple is a change in his sheikh's feelings toward him. If this happens, then even were the sheikhs of the East and the West to unite to improve him, they would never succeed, not until his own sheikh becomes pleased with him again. Know that a disciple in search of a sheikh should not surrender command over himself to anyone said to be a sheikh and a guide on the path until he comes to know that such a one is worthy of his
And
description.
here, listen what Imam Haddad, he gives a warning. Know that it is not recommended for any spiritual disciple, murid, that seeks a sheikh, that he gives himself totally over to that person, right? Even if that person claims to be a sheikh and he can guide the disciple, until he knows he has what is called ahliyah, that he's really qualified for that, right? So not everyone who says they're a sheikh has the ability to really guide you. So, that, especially now, sheikh is thrown around like so loosely. Anyone says, I'm sheikh, right? And I take what Sheikh Samir said to me, and Sheikh Al-Bouti, he said the same thing. He said, if I knew that there was this Sheikh Kamil, perfected sheikh, he said, I would be the first to go to him. But rather, most people are making claims. That's what Sheikh Samir said to me. I never forget it. And I heard Sheikh Bouti say the same thing. That the Sheikh Kamil, this sheikh who you give all your fears, he said they're rare, if almost non-existent. They are rare and almost non-existent. Not saying they don't exist, but they're so rare, one needs to be careful. Now,
Until he comes to know that such a one is worthy of this description, and until he can accept him wholeheartedly. Similarly, if a disciple goes to a sheikh asking to be taken on the path, he should not be permitted to enter it until his sincerity has been tested, as well as the extent to which he truly thirsts for someone to guide him to his Lord. All this relates to the sheikh of Tahkim.
yeah, that's the sheikh who you're going to give all of your affairs over, and they're going to become your spiritual guide. That's called Sheikh al-Tahkim, right? He's going to have hukum, he's going to have rulership over you. Now,
it is a condition that the disciple should remain with him like a dead body in the hands of he who is washing it for burial, or like a child with its mother. This does not apply to the sheikh of Tabaruk.
that is the sheikh that you just get blessings for following them, which is most of the case. Most of the shuyukh who are claiming to be spiritual guides are really just for the blessing of connection. They're not qualified to be over top of someone.
If the disciple's intention is to gather barakah and not hand over command over his affairs, then the more sheikhs he meets, the better. A disciple who has not succeeded in finding a sheikh should
Right.
persevere.
So he visits them, he takes blessings from them. This is good, right? And this is recommended. We go to sheikh, to sheikh, to sheikh. And this was the way of Asada. You would find them, they had many shuyukh for barakah, not for tahkim. Not that there's like all my affairs. And then we bless, we take from his chain, we take from his chain, we take from his knowledge. MashaAllah. Naam.
Should persevere in resolutely striving to do so. He should turn to Allah Ta'ala in total sincerity and need and ask Him to give him a guide. He will be answered by the one who answers those in desperate need. He will send him a servant of his to take him by the hand. A disciple may be searching for a sheikh, thinking that he is without one, while in actual fact a sheikh he has never seen has been rearing and teaching him by directing his gaze.
May Allah make us those who are trained by Imam Haddad himself. Me. Subhanallah.
Toward him, the disciple remaining unaware. In reality, the most vital factor is sincerity. Real sheikhs are there, but transcendent is he who has made the evidence that guides to his saints part of the evidence that guides to him.
That's what Imam has said. فَالْمَشَايِخُ الْمُحَقِّقُونَ مَوْجُودُونَ. Real sheikhs do exist. Even if there's so many pretenders, they do exist. So don't give up. Just learn and Allah will guide you to one.
And does not allow anyone to reach them except those he wishes to make reach him. If you want something from your sheikh,
let's stop there. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad. We're almost finished this book, alhamdulillah. And this is the first reading. We will come over it again with more details and at another time. But alhamdulillah, we're doing good. So I want to give this warning. While we believe in the reality of the tasawwuf and tariqah and spiritual path, we give a severe warning to the one who enters this without learning the sacred law. It's dangerous. Yes, tasawwuf is true. Yes, tariqah is recommended. Yes, real sheikhs exist. But for those who learn, they will identify them. Hey, we're here, inshallah. Hold on one second, I'm sorry. So this is the case. And so just be safe, right? Don't rush. Not microwave Islam. Take your time, learn your religion. Inshallah, Allah will guide you to that perfected sheikh who will take you further in your journey. Everything is steps. But as for taking the barakah of visiting sheikhs and listening to them and getting their blessing, mashallah, ahlan wa sahlan, do it. But be careful with joining without knowing. Don't be a groupie. Be a traveler to Allah. Being a groupie is dangerous, and they always get hurt. So, inshallah, may Allah bless you all. Remember, tomorrow morning, we're going to finish that important discussion. And tonight, at 6:30, we will continue in reading in our book, The Asharis, Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. So we'll start at 6:30. We'll continue in this book tonight. Barakallahu fikum wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.